Hello and welcome. Today I come to you with a couple of useful tips for Ice Court Kislev campaign that will or might make your campaign easier. Because in Warhammer 3, Kislev campaign belongs to one of the hardest. And one of the less likable campaigns by people. I mean, when portals were around, that was a hell. But in Immortal Empires, Kislev is still hard. This belongs to one of the hardest campaigns because you're surrounded by many enemies and you're the front line of Empire, right? You're the shield that protects humans of Warhammer fantasy world from chaos, from Norska, from monsters. So yeah, Kislev is tough. But I hope the tips I collected will help you enough that you find this campaign enjoyable. Because I certainly did. I didn't like the campaign in Warhammer 3, the Chaos Realms, that much. I mean, I like it, but it was hard as hell. And yeah, I thought Ice Court Costalton is also very hard, but Ice Court is painful, okay? Yet, if you sort things out, and if you do it correctly, then you will have a really fun campaign in front of you. You just need to understand what can happen, properly use Ice Court mechanic, good talents, good buildings, army compositions, even. I mean, I'm not gonna give you like one-on-one tips. So build this, build that, armies. No. But you have choice to go for Little Grom stack, Warslet stacks, but missile, heavy infantry, melee. There is a couple of options. I always go for range because, I mean, Corsairs at the start, because they excel in a range armies, and hybrid units. Yeah, they fight nice, but primarily you go for range anyway. Unless Polar Bear stack, which is very powerful, especially with Boris, but that belongs to different fraction. So yeah, I hope you find it useful, and if yes, please tell me. Tell me if I help you. If I forget something, then definitely you should tell me. Nevertheless, enjoy watching. My first tip for Ice Court is to recruit First Lord right away. Second Lord besides Catherine, and just start recruiting. Reduce the capacity, increase the capacity and recruitment cost reduce. Because you won't have enough time to recruit enough unit to smash army plus garrison at some point here in the second province, Southern Oblast. So you want to have like a support, because you're gonna go for Ragur and then Zavastra. You can clear it with what you have. Fine, right? You recruit 2 Kislevite, Corsairs. You move closer here, because you won't be able to move. Then it's another 2. So you're gonna have 12 units when you reach Vitevo. But this one will bring you extra 8 bodies, extra 8 units. And there will be a lord with like a lot of units and a garrison. So you can do it. I mean, Legend did it, so I guess everyone can do it, right? Sorry, if it's sarcastic, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't mean. I wasn't mean it. But this way, you'll have a second lord that assists you. And even if he dies, you will have a buddy. You will have a bodyguard. You will have a meat in front of you units but also you'll have way more units to deal with upcoming danger. You won't regret it if you do it this way. And also at the start, you need to decide which technology you go. Some people go for growth, but the growth is meaningless because it's 10, 5, or 5. It's okay, but there are better things than this. And my first pick is always Pirate's Weapon. Range for 10% for Kislev units, and armor piercing for Kislev units, and reload reduction. This basically means more damage. More damage and faster damage because Kislev units 10% is always something good. And the second one I always also suggest right after the Pirate's Weapon is Hook Axe Blades. It increases your melee defense, the basic units melee defense. And because you're gonna roll with them a lot, and they will fight in melee, giving them extra melee defense at the start is a very good choice. After that, you can choose whatever you want, like cold storage is very good. Yeah, it's any kind of replenish and growth is very good, but if you go for a Pirate's Weapon and hooked axe blade, you will increase your units power right away. You remember you have some Ice Guard, you have 2 units of Ice Guard, so this technically Winds of Magic power reserve change plus 15%, and ammunition is also very good for Ice Court specifically. So Glacial Prism is very good, but I wouldn't ever put it in front any other. But Pirate's Weapon is the one you should definitely always go first. Because, yeah, you will need it in an upcoming struggle. When you start conquering some territory, after Kislev you go for another province, which most likely is Southern Oblast. Make sure you build yourself something, military building. Why? Corsairs are okay. But it's good to have, even in your first army, some armored Corsairs and even Streltsy. I mean, Streltsy are further needed, especially for like stuff like Vlad. Armor piercing helps. Corsairs, yeah, they have some armor piercing, but Streltsy have it more. But the primary you want to have armored Corsairs. They're very good frontliners. You want to have a front line, your Corsairs can hold for some time. They're a hybrid, right? But armored Corsair will be better on your front line than most of your infantry. Later, Sargard is also very good. You could have it, but problem with Sargard is that it takes 2 turns to recruit them, while Armored Corsair takes 1. So when you start like clearing stuff out in your first province next to Kislev, make sure you build it and you get Armored Corsair ASAP. Trust me, having a front line will make a massive difference when you go for Grainskins, when you go for Rats, anything. They have shields, so they are better at soaking missiles. It's a silver shield, so it's 50%. If I'm correct. Yeah, small arms. So anything that shoots will be reduced, but also they are just tough as hell early game unit for frontline. Trust me, you will need it. It will make your life super, well, not super easy in combat, but way easier than just go with basic Corsairs. I know it's cost efficient. It's also a Legend-alike style where he struggled with basic units. I did it. It was a nightmare once I switched to Armored Corsair, and I mean, I had loads of Corsairs, don't get me wrong, but having Armored Corsair it's good because they also shoot a little bit. They have more missile armor piercing, but they are just not really good with ammo, but they're good to getting smashed by your enemies, and it will just be better for you. Order I did, and I suggest to do campaign, is pretty much start with Kislev, obviously, so clear the southern Oblast, which I did, and go for Azak. Make sure you clear Azak as soon as possible, because when you play Dwarves, Azak comes for you. When you go for Karak Kadrin, Azak goes for you. But if you play Kislev, Azak goes for you, as you play Ice Court. So, if you want to have a better time, get rid of Azak as soon as possible. And from that, you can clear whatever you want. Sometimes Trot is pressuring you really hard. But in this campaign, he did not. So I cleared Castle Drakenhof. I cleared the von Karstein first. And you should have von Karstein Castle Drakenhof. You should have it because sometimes caravans reach it. And it's very lucrative province to have, like southern Sylvania. You want to have Sylvania in your possession because, look, it just gives you a lot of money. And like I said, Grand Cafe sends caravans to Castle Drakenhof and you get free money from literally nothing. So, and of course, later on, Vlad has become a asshole, so you want to make sure he's not growing to the level where you kill his entire army and he still solos you with himself, which happened to me a couple of times in different campaigns. So early game Vlad is way better to get rid of, but you really need to focus on him because, yeah, he's a tough boy. But Azak priority, and then if Trot is not pushing you really hard, you can clear it, but trust me, once you go north, everything gonna be here. Like, I cleared Sylvania. I sent one lord even here to Baragvar, which I'm somehow growing. That's a example of my allies doing stuff. But yeah, I cleared Sylvania and I went north with all my armies, most of them, to just get Trot, Pancake Face, which is I always forget his name. But yeah, Potato Face, Demon Lord, and then Norska, and Demons and Warriors of Chaos itself here. So this order will make your campaign. I mean, Azak first, okay? No matter what you do. Then whatever you feel to, whatever it's pressure you, but if Trot is leaving you, you know, in peace, make sure you get rid of Sylvania. And in the meantime, you, of course, build another army, because armies of Kislev at the start are not really that expensive. The basic Corsair army is not that expensive. Look, I know I reduced quite a lot upkeep here, but you can manage. The finances of Kislev are really, really good, to the level where Kislev on its own makes 3,000 almost. So, yep. Just you can manage, and trade works as well. I have 6 army and I'm still making this much of money, so I'm actually gonna build 2 more armies very soon just to raid north and get rid of every enemy out there. So yeah, make sure you choose your enemy wise so you won't get surprised, but you will be the one that, you know, makes moves first. Another tip for you is do not be afraid of defensive alliances. Defensive alliances are very, very good. One, they will give you rely allies, and obviously your best allies are dwarfs, Empire, Grand Cafe, obviously the Tide Order, and you can also give Britonia if they alive. So yeah, those are the best allies for you. They will assist you, trust me, they will assist you. Defensive alliances works way better than they work in Warhammer 2. But also, you will be able to get yourself a good units like Hellstorm rocket batteries, Iron Drakes, organ guns, stuff like that. Kislev range department is very good, but they lack of a good splash artillery. Don't get me wrong, little Groms are great, but Hellstorm rocket batteries works better against infantry, so you do want to have them. And Iron Drakes obviously melt everything that comes closer, so another splash damage. It also lets you emergency recruitment. If you have an army, let's say I have someone coming, and I summon a lord, whatever, and I have 4 units, I can get mostly on next turn, obviously, whatever you choose. So it lets me get prepared for emergency, which I didn't use that much in this campaign after all. But yeah, definitely defensive alliances, and if you go step further, like military alliance, you can have a chance to get yourself a hero. To have a hero that you will get after purposely losing as an borrowed army. So you borrow an army, you lose purposely a hero, and this hero will end up in your pool of heroes that are about to get resurrected. So it's very good. Make sure you abuse it as long as it works. When you choose heavy missiles army, I suggest you to have a Frost Maiden or Frost Lord, whatever. Ice Sheet, after cooldowns, after points given, costs 1-2 winds of magic, and cooldown is insanely short. And it's amazing when you go for heavy, if you go for heavy missile army. It's amazing, okay? It's just, I don't know what the hell they're doing here, but yeah, but it just works. Heavy missile army just works with the Frost Maiden. You rely more on magic, on missiles than magic, and it just works because you have enough slows to put down any kind of aggression, and you really want to do it like that. Otherwise, you struggle. You just struggle, and it's not the fun struggle. See, look, I just had it. Now I have another one. It's a low-level army, but it just works. So I have enough time for my missiles to do the job while they're just coming. So yeah, make sure you do have a wizard with the frost magic if you go for missiles. You won't regret it. When it comes to Ice Court, I highly suggest two types of lords and heroes. One is, more like economical desire, and two are very strong for economically, but also increase the range of units or increase melee weapons of infantry and stuff like that. So obviously, very good trait you can have is upkeep reduction for war sleds and little groms. They're usually you have choice between one of or second. It can be applied to lords and heroes, and it stacks. So War sled stack works very nice if you have those heroes and lords to reduce, because yeah, you pay way less for your army. I have one with heavy war sleds. I went with war wagons with some mortars just to have some splash. But I have, look, less than 3,000 for upkeep. For a full army of sleds. And this army is fun. It's fun to run. You need to watch out. You need to. It's high macro intensive, but it's okay. But there is also second type that you don't want to have in your field, but you do want to have them in your pool. So, for instance, I switch. +1 to Patriarch. It's amazing because you don't have to recruit the I switch in order to increase your pool of Patriarchs. You don't have to build everywhere the Patriarch building, which honestly I'm not building because besides devotion, some control, corruption, it's just waste a slot for me. I'd rather have something that increase money, or I can do whatever, but Patriarchs I prefer to increase by Ice Court. And it's just worth. I don't rush supporters at all costs. I'm not rushing because I don't want to have Costalton too fast. He's a good buffer. But this is the one type. But there is also a second construction cost -20 for all buildings local province. If you pair this with Ataman and also there is attachment to a lord's. It's called, what is it called? Ataman's administrator, construction time for all buildings. You reduce time and cost. And more those lords I switches you have, the less you pay eventually, because it will work like a dwarf Grogny, where you can just summon. Let's say I need a build here, something. I summon I switch, I build up stuff, and I remove her. She goes back to pool, the rotation 5 turns, but I reduce cost, so it's very cost effective to have them in your pool. So yeah, there is plenty of traits. There was back in the day in Warhammer 3, there was a trait that increased overall missile, because it's for melee infantry, but I don't see for overall range units, just for Ice Guard. But yeah, growth is nice, missile strength. Oh yeah, see, missile strength Lord's Army. So this with the Ice Charioteer works very well for War Sled stack. So make sure you use Ice Court as much as possible, and also whenever you get a good lord, make sure you also save character for future campaigns. Trust me, you're gonna make your life way easier in the future, because if you play it once, eventually you might play it again, and having lords and heroes in your pool for next campaign will just make your life super easy. As a Patriarch, you should have a hero attached to almost every army, I think every. He's mediocre tank, but at least as a something in front, and it's a healer. Salyak Lullaby is a trait you should mostly go for. Unless you go for more than one, then Thor Battle Hymn, if you have a melee fighters in your army and you send them often like a Polar Bear stuck, you can have this Thor Battle Hymn as well. But Salyak Lullaby should be your primary skill, primary talent you choose. I messed this one up. I clicked the wrong one, and yeah, it's permanently messed up. But There is one that improves your cooldown for Salyak Lullaby, and yeah, you should always go for it. It's good for heroes, lords, even, you know, when you're in heavy combat, which you're gonna be as a Kislev. It's good to heal units on a battlefield often, and unless they're like fighters, Thor Battle Hymn is okay, but Salyak Lullaby should be a primary choice. Yeah. Supporters, don't rush them. Have them, but don't rush them, okay? They're not worth too much. I mean, yeah, Kislev, blah blah blah, leadership, control, but don't rush them, and also keep Kostaltin alive. What I mean by keep Kostaltin alive is I had Kostaltin almost dying. I gave him some, yeah, like Kappelburg. I gave him a couple of settlements. One, it improved our relations to the level that he just loves me. I gave him a couple of settlements, but also I kept him alive. And he's a good buffer. And after all, I mean, he's not like a great of everything, right? But he is in front of you. So he will deal with Norskan, some rats. Yeah, he will be your shield, a buffer that soft everything's up. And if you keep him alive, then eventually you will confederate him. So you'll get all the territory you gave him, for instance, you're gonna get it back. But don't rush supporters, eventually it's gonna happen, but make sure your Kostaltin in your campaign is alive, give him some settlements to make your relations better so he never declare wars on you, because it can happen somehow. And if he goes crazy too much, just use devotion or coin to drop his supporters if he is rushing. He's rushing faster. I mean, if you want rush it, he will go faster than you, so you want to drop it. You want to drop it, but Kostaltin is worth to have around. I don't think I ever recruited Ataman as a lord, active lord to go and fight. I keep them in a province because look, construction time minus 35%. Attrition, recruit rank infantry when Ataman is present, income, stuff like this, construction cost. So I keep them in a provinces where I can get like more money, faster building, even research rate or higher capacity or higher level for heroes. So my advice is to put them in the good provinces, like here, income from buildings, and income from buildings. It has 15%, and it has a gold mine. So yeah, 15% plus more other stuff works. I get more money. So if you want to have more money, make sure atamans are, you know, attached to a specific province. Do not recruit them as an active lord, because otherwise you just won't have those benefits inside your, you know, secured provinces. And that will be it. If I missed something, please let me know in a comment if I missed any very important tip. I hope I didn't. But remember to just have fun, because people forget about that often in games like this. Enjoy. And if you don't enjoy this campaign, despite like me trying help you, don't play it. Find something that fits you and just enjoy it. After all, it's a video game and you play it to have fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Till the next time, take care and bye-bye.